Back in the early 1970s, when The Who were at the height of their power and fame, John Entwistle became the first member to record a solo album, recording four, as a matter of fact, between 1971 and 1975. And by the early 1980s, he had enough material to try it again, releasing Too Late the Hero in 1981, and from that album, the epic title track. Okay, so far what we're mainly hearing is some thick layers of synthesizer played by John Entwistle and flute played by Joe Vitale, who has quite a presence on this album, playing drums on a number of tracks, and on this one. Basically, we've heard Joe Vitale do three things in a number of overdubs because he plays drums, piano, and flute on this album. We heard all three. So it's basically, so far it's just him and John Entwistle. We haven't heard our other guys yet. Very grandiose, open cadence intro. You know that's leading into something quite intense. To make the hero, it all comes to zero. Now I wish I could stop and start it again. I like how his accent kind of comes through in his singing. He may not have the most powerful singing voice, and he didn't really do much, for obvious reasons, lead in the Who. But yeah, his his street kind of like voice comes through. It's the end of my movie. The bad guys pick me easy, and I wish I could stop and start it again. Okay, already there's somewhat of a martyr theme that's coming together. Too Late the Hero. I've always kind of wondered about that line. It seems like scalloped somewhere. Too late for the hero, too late to be a hero, too late. It all comes to zero, and I wish I could stop and start again. It's the end of my movie. The bad guys beat me easy, and I wish I could stop and start again. So basically, he's seeing his life as a movie in which he got defeated, or seems to be where things are going. It's easy to live in your imagination if you can't control the situation. Now that is a really great set of lyrics right there. That couplet especially. It's easy to live in your imagination if you can't control the situation. Yeah. Pull quote. You just cut and start it again. So I'm seeing a theme here where this song is about like treating life, treating memory as like figments of tape, of recorded. You know, funny enough, just the other day I saw this trending article that said that strange how when you're in a crisis, your mind stops filming and it begins taking Polaroids. And that really had me thinking, quite evocative, very, yeah. It's easy to live in your imagination. You have to make all driving home the point further, it's easy to live in your imagination. You have to make an alteration. You just cut and start again. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if you could just edit past memories, past bad experiences to your satisfaction, past losses, give them the happy ending, just cut that out and refilm the sequence. Yeah, as if life was a movie. Because in a movie, a director, if directors, if they want, they could turn any movie and turn any sad movie, any sad sequence, and turn it into a happy ending if they want. They don't have to have those scenes in the movie if they don't want, but that's like that's like the most powerful part of the song, but it'll get even more powerful when we hear it again later on. But let's cover the lyrics here. How I wish I could live on this silver screen, like the stars in the movie magazines, with a happy ending as the final scene. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if life were a movie that you could edit, and, write to your satisfaction, film to your satisfaction? It's been years since I've seen the video to this. I remember the last time I looked, there was a very poor quality upload on YouTube, but they did show the video a few times back in the day on early MTV. And I remember there's some like sequences that seem to like be from the same photo shoot that produced the album cover. But there are it cuts to a bunch of then very hard to get a hold of sequences of film of 1920s era films, 19 like nitrate era, like 1910s, 1920s silent, like slapstick movies. Like I think like the original Three Musketeers, some sequences from that. To come to think of it, that was a big trend at the time. There were also a lot of those clips used in the video to Loverboy's Turn Me Loose, silent era film footage. And back in like late 81, 1982, thereabouts, MTV used to air these stock footage compilations of like 20s era, silent era footage and film clips. Paired with these instrumentals, like these library instrumentals. There's a few of them actually that can now be found in some of those uploads of like early MTV, like an hour of MTV from this day in 1982. Yeah. Today the hero, it all comes to zero. I wish I could stop and start it. It's the end of my movie. The band drives me crazy now. I wish I could stop and start it again. It's easy. The feelings always wear back. They see it comes and turn back. It only happens in the movies. Interesting lines we have here. It's easy. The villains always wear black. They see your guns and turn back. It only happens in the movies. Yeah, those scenes like in any in any like swashbuckling adventure or any like heck any like Chuck Norris movie where you always know what's going to happen when one of those villainous random karate guys comes up, steps forward and is like he takes them down instantly. Yeah. It's easy. isn't this section just so powerful? All those rising sounds, the synthesizer just like swells up, and you've got those kettle drums just sounding off like, and the lyrics get quite a bit more metaphorical here. Okay, going back to the last section for a minute. It's easy. The heroes always wear white. The ladies fall off the sight. It only happens in the movies. I'm a little bit thrown by the line, the ladies fall off the sight, meaning they fall for the hero. I don't quite get where fall off means. Um, I would think that fall for the would be. The word off is throwing me just a little bit there. Okay. Now into this grand section that we've entered. As the Viking ship drifts off to the sea, the black sail bursts into fire. I turn to kiss the princess. I have to pass a fire. Okay. It sounds like he's in perilous situation here. Yeah, the ship, and he's having to, be a hero here because they're on danger. They're on a ship that could go down. The arrows fall. The sky is red. The music gets higher and higher. So this is like, at this moment, he's embracing his lover in the movie as the end draws near, as a fateful ending draws near. Epic, lavish, grandiose, swelling to the sky. John Entwistle, too late, the hero. It seems like the two final sections at the end there gave us two different vignettes. It seemed like he was in peril in the last stanza, and we were getting like a fragments of scenery. I have to pass the fire, the arrows fall, the sky is red, the music gets higher and higher. That perfectly characterizes what we just heard. And then the final lines, he says, "The battle's done, I'm on my way home, a hero's welcome on the shore, single-handed, all by myself. I've just won the war, it was nothing really." He's rewritten the story to his satisfaction. So maybe in the penultimate stanza, we were seeing the fate of him going down on a ship, but he just cuts from that scene and instead wraps it up with him returning to shore, you know, and having single-handedly won the battle, one, you know, and oh, like it was all just an afterthought, you know, like it was just cake. And so we're given kind of two takes of a movie here, you know, in a world where you can rewrite your own experiences to your satisfaction, where you can edit, where you can make cuts from your experiences. Yeah. On that track, it seems to have been like mostly a two-man show. Joe Walsh is credited with guitar, which I barely really noticed. Is that I hear him on other songs on the album, like "Try Me," great opening track. I hear his licks on that one loud and clear. This one, I was basically just hearing the synthesizer, and oh, Joe Walsh plays the kettle drums on this. Yeah, good going, Joe. Um, Joe, I have to say about Joe Walsh's contribution to this album, he definitely has much more of a feel for John Entwistle's material than Pete Townsend did around this time. Like when I compare this is like this being like a really inspired album, John Entwistle's best solo album. Um, and the songs on here are much better than The Quiet One and You, the two contribution, the two Entwistle writing contributions to the Face Dances album. And it's not like those two songs on Face Dances were weak or subpar. It's just that I went over. I kind of went into. I ended up going into this on that video to because You're Young by David Bowie, because I ended up talking about that there because Pete Townsend appears on that track, sounding very inspired. Adding this really great, yeah, go watch that video. Pete Townsend plays this really great, like circular guitar figure on that song by David Bowie on the Scary Monster Super Creeps album. That sounds a lot more inspired than what he contributed to Entwistle's tracks on Face Dances, and I think because you know he was happy to be in that Bowie environment, something different for Pete Townsend, whereas and and like Townsend with Bowie, like Walsh with Entwistle. Walsh was very honored to be playing with Entwistle, whereas Entwistle and Townsend always button heads. You know, Entwistle, of course, has the upper hand in that because he knows how to just do his services in the Who, and because he had always been their bass player. But whenever Townsend was playing on an Entwistle track on a Who album, it was kind of like the roles were being reversed in a way. Um, Townsend would just kind of have to play a part, and he could never quite get into that role. And so his solution was to just kind of put his brain on vacation and kind of phone it in when he was playing on Entwistle's numbers on Who albums. I hear that going as far back as like My Wife. On My Wife, his guitar parts are kind of more pedestrian, more rote, just kind of phoned in. Entwistle kind of takes over, picks up the slack as much as he can. Um, it's an all right number, not as good as the numbers though on Whistle Rhythms or Smash Your Head Against the Wall. And likewise, the numbers on Too Late, the songs on Too Late to Hero are much better than A Quiet One or You, primarily because he's got full control over the arrangements and the cast. And the people playing on it are honored to be there and have a real feel for his material and are really working to find accents and complements to what to hit to Entwistle on this record. And Joe Walsh had been admiring Entwistle for years. He really, you know, finds and, you know, works his way into these songs in a way that in ways that are complementary to Entwistle's material, whereas Pete Townsend just didn't have a feel for it, just didn't have his heart in Entwistle's material. Heck, I wonder if he ever even listened to this album. Um, so overall, this is a stronger album than Face Dances. Just like All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes would be a stronger album than either of the two early '80s Who albums. That's not to say that I don't like Face Dances. I think it's mostly a pretty good album, except um, Townsend's rather wrote, pedestrian, kind of dialed in guitar parts on the two Entwistle songs, notwithstanding. Yeah. And Billy Nicholls is credited with backing vocals on this song. I could barely notice that, above all the great layers we've got going on this number. Billy Nicholls, primarily known for his 1968 Baroque pop classic Would You Believe, and a few sporadic credits ever since then. Interesting to see his name anywhere on a 1981 release. Anyway, for and to summarize the video, epic, great song with evocative lyrics and swelling, rich synth tones and an overall epic feel, and one to just take out the whole album. Yes, for more Rubies and Sapphires from Too Late to Hero and other John Entwistle albums, see the directory of albums by English J artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about these lyrics that differ from mine, or any points you would like to make about the song, its meaning. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled maximalist, signing off.